Right, here we go. I am going to show you some experiments about what happens to the mass of things as they burn or as they react. Now, here's a load of paper. I'm going to burn this paper and I'm going to see what happens to the mass. So we are on 131.42. 131.42, but I think if I move it around it might change slightly. So it does vary slightly depending on exactly where it is. So hopefully it won't vary too much, but we're going to get an idea. What's going to happen to the mass when we burn it, or what happens to the mass? Right, don't think there's much left of that. Just a whole bunch of carbon. It's pretty much stopped burning. Pop it on there. And if we look at that, that has definitely gone down. It's gone down by quite a bit. We can see, it would appear, it appears that when things react, they lose mass. Looks fairly obvious. Right, let's have a look at the next thing. Okay, this is what we're going to burn next. This is iron. It's basically iron, but it's really, really fluffy, called iron wool, but it is just iron. Now, if we look at the mass of this, it is on 130.47. 130.47, and remember, it can change slightly depending on where it is, but we're looking at somewhere 130 point a bit. Right, let's burn it. Right, boys, you can just see that has now, well, it's actually increased. It's gone up slightly, not by a huge amount, but it's 130.55 or something. So that has increased by a very small amount. It's not gone down in mass. When we burnt the paper, it went down. This one, it's gone up. Well, on this occasion, it didn't really smoke. It glowed. There was no smoke. No smoke has escaped. What we've got here is just pure iron oxide. It has absorbed oxygen and it is now heavier. Now, that tells us that things get heavier when they burn. The paper showed us things got lighter when they burn. But what's actually happening? Well, actually, it's neither of those two things. It's neither of those. They don't get lighter, they don't get heavier. And we're going to look at one more experiment which will show us what really, really actually does happen to the mass. Let's have a look. So these scales are set to 0, and I've got this cotton on to stop things mixing. Can you see there is something in there? And this cotton is just stopping it dropping in, but let's put all the cotton on there to make it really, really accurate. Make it perfectly accurate. It is 159.71. So there's going to be a reaction inside there, and hopefully the mass won't change. Are you watching? So there's one liquid in the little test tube inside, and here we go. Let's mix it together, and suddenly it's all gone yellow. Let's try and mix it round, make sure it all comes out. But that is definitely a reaction. If I pop it back on there, 159.64. I have forgotten what it was, but it was certainly 159 point something. Possibly as you move it around, it doesn't come out exactly the same. As you move it slightly, you don't get quite the right answer, same answer, but it's certainly very, very close. It hasn't changed mass because there's no new particles in there. It's all the same particles, just shuffled round.